You know the image we all have of a celebrity chef, calm, cool, working in some pristine, beautiful kitchen on TV? But let's be real, that polished picture, it's not the whole story. So today, we're gonna push right past that facade and find out what's really happening behind the kitchen's swinging door.
Right, so the image we're sold is all about glamour. It's fame, it's achieving this impossible level of culinary perfection, all in these spotless, high-tech labs. You've got the best-selling cookbooks, the TV shows, the food that looks like a work of art. But that's just the appetizer.
So what's it actually like back there? You know, in the heat, the noise, the organized chaos that creates the amazing food we all love to eat? Let's get into the real, true culture of a professional kitchen.
Well, who better to sum it up than the late, great Anthony Bourdain? He said a professional kitchen is like a pirate ship. And bam, with just that one phrase, all that glamour just melts away, right? And what you're left with is a much grittier and honestly a way more interesting reality. It's a world with its own rules, its own slang, its own code of honor.
Okay, so while it's the head chef's name on the restaurant, chances are they're not the one actually cooking your dinner. Bourdain was always clear that the real heroes, the people doing almost all of the heavy lifting, are a completely different crew. He had a great name for it, street-level cooking. And the goal here isn't creativity, it's consistency. This is not about some lone artist waiting for a flash of genius. No way. This is about a whole team of specialists doing the exact same task perfectly, hundreds of times a night. It's basically a high-speed, high-pressure assembly line. To really get it, let's just follow a single steak, okay? So hours before you even walk in the door, a prep cook has already portioned it out. The minute you order, a cook at the grill station gets it searing. At the exact same time, another cook over at the sauté station is getting your asparagus ready. Then it all has to come together at the perfect moment for plating before one last check at the expo station. It's this incredible, fast-paced ballet. So when you have that kind of intense teamwork, it creates a really unique subculture. It's like this closed-off little world, a club with its own language and its own pressures. And if you want to survive in there, you have got to learn the unwritten rules. And at the absolute core of this code is a concept from Dr. Patricia Drazia's research called hypermasculinity. Now, this isn't just about being masculine. It's about an exaggerated performance of it. It's about being tough, aggressive, never showing emotion, and having a really, really high tolerance for swearing and risky behavior. It's basically the social currency of the kitchen. And this hyper-masculinity shows up in two main ways, which Dr. Droz calls discourses. On one side, you have the discourse of disadvantage. This is where the crew bonds over the tough stuff, long hours, low pay, feeling exploited. Then you have the discourse of deviance. And this is about bonding by breaking the rules, constant swearing, dark humor, talking about drugs and alcohol. Both of these create this powerful us against the world vibe. And this quote from Bourdain just nails that discourse of deviance. He said this raw, often pretty offensive way of talking, cook talk, is as structured as a haiku. It's a performance, you know? It has rules, and it's all about testing boundaries and figuring out who really belongs on the pirate ship. All right, so if this is the culture, what happens when women step into this world? Well, this is where things get really, really complicated. It leads to what experts call a professional double bind. It's a classic catch-22, a real no-win situation. If a woman in the kitchen adopts those masculine behaviors, if she's assertive, if she swears, she's seen as competent, but she's not likable. But if she leans into more traditional feminine traits, like being polite or empathetic, she's seen as likable, but she's considered ineffective. You're basically stuck. And you know where this is captured perfectly? In the movie Ratatouille. Seriously. Dr. Droz points to the character Colette, who says she has to be the toughest cook in this kitchen. Not to get promoted, but just to survive. Just to be taken seriously at all. It might be a cartoon, but that pressure is very, very real. So how do people, especially women, actually navigate this tightrope walk? Well, it turns out they come up with very specific strategies just to make it through the day. First off, you gotta think about the space itself. A professional kitchen forces everyone together. You're working shoulder to shoulder in a hot, loud, cramped space under constant pressure. There is literally no room for error and absolutely nowhere to hide. That alone makes the social stuff that much more intense. So dealing with all that, women tend to use one of four main strategies. Some try to assimilate. They become one of the boys.
Others diverge. They just keep their heads down, stay quiet, and try to avoid it all. A lot of women, sadly, just opt out and leave the business entirely. But there's a fourth, really interesting one: gatekeeping. That's when you find a way to control information or resources, to build authority without having to play the hypermasculine game.
So what does all this mean for us, the diners sitting out in the calm, quiet dining room? Well, it means that the culture of that kitchen, it's kind of like an invisible ingredient that's in every single dish you eat. And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. Is this intense pirate ship culture a necessary evil? Is it the only way to create that kind of amazing food night after night? Or is it just an old tradition that's ready to be thrown out and plated in a totally new way? Something to think about next time you're looking at a menu.